All right. Hello, chat. How's it going? Hopefully well. I am realizing just now that I have not drank enough water today. As soon as I opened my mouth and started talking, it's like, wow, that does not feel great. Anyway, we're back. We're playing Ace Combat Zero. Hopefully, my power doesn't go out this time. Hopefully. Is it hot where I am? No, it's like high 70s today, I think. It's not that bad. I mean, it's not cool, but it's not hot. You know, it's warm. It's just I think I've drank like one of my, hold on. So I've got these like, you know, why can I not think of the word? I've got these Yeti cups, right? That I drink out of because they have the lid for when I knock it over at my desk, which I do all the time, actually. These are like 24 ounces, maybe? And I think I've had like one of these today so far. And it's 1 p.m. So I've drank like no water, just generally speaking. So as soon as I started talking, it's like, whoa, my throat is dry. Anyway. Did I mean, this is a fairly easy question to assume. Did I get much done? I did not. The last stream before my power went out, I mean. Actually, hold on. Okay, we're good. I didn't check if the glitch was happening again. I love that that's how I check. For anyone who doesn't know what I'm doing, looks so dumb. Okay, so I need to take the A path on this mission. We're good. Oh, I might also, because I've been messing with audio, the game might be quiet at first today. We might have to turn it up a tiny bit.
Belka's second line of defense stretches across the Shane Plains.
The chat will just have to let me know.
Belka.
Anyway, bought a 360 just to play Ace Combat 6. There are so many other great 360 games. While you've got it, just saying. Those old Gears of War games, pretty fun. What else is like an actual Xbox 360 exclusive nowadays? Like, never got brought over to anything else sort of exclusive. Because obviously, like, Halo was the big game during the 360's life, but those are on everything now.
Escort allied transport craft after each mission is completed.
Wow.
That is all.
You know, I pulled up the list. Could be a little louder. Okay. Do that through here. Because I changed, like, my actual, like, basic audio config. So we'll bump it a bit in there. I went to just be like, yeah, what are good Xbox 360 only games? And I got a list of 214 games that were only on the 360. And the other one, we don't talk about the other one that came after 3. We don't. I mean, I do all the time. I don't talk about it in very high regard, but I do talk about it fairly often. Holy shit, there were so many 360 only games. Oh, Fable. Fable's a good one. I'm actually kind of shocked that they still haven't brought that to anything else. Oh, I was confused by Gears of War, not the original one. Fuck, I can talk. By the original Gears of War not being listed like alongside 2, 3, and Judgment on the list. I was like, where is the original? That was a 360 game. But I forget that it actually got like a, what's it called? It got like a, oh, what was the service? Something What was it? Games for Windows Live or some shit like that? Hold on. Is that what it was called? Yes, Games for Windows Live. That is what the service was called. Yeah. It was awful. It was the worst. It's also very long dead and buried, but God. Got a PC port and then a remaster. The PTSD. What? For, what's it? For Ace Combat Zero completion or Games for Windows Live? Digital Trash Live. It was bad. It was really not good. I think I was flying the Tiger Shark the other day, wasn't I? When the power blacked out, I think I was flying the Tiger Shark around. I'm just gonna run it. I think that's what I was doing. Oh yeah, because like on the VOD, there's no way for me to explain it because the VOD just cuts out. For whoever might be actually sitting here watching through the playlist. Yeah, my power just middle of the last Ace Combat stream just blacked out on me. It's the first time I've had my power go out for more than like 5 seconds at a time in the last like 3 years. My power was out for like 2 hours afterwards. I probably want the bombs. XAGM is better. That's why we save it. That's why we save it. Probably worse than Ubisoft. Or, those are all bad. They're all great picks for the wrong reasons. Ubisoft and Rockstar on PC are annoying as shit. I don't like either of them. To be honest, the new Ubisoft launcher is better because I've been using that recently to play a bit of X-Defiant with friends of mine. It's definitely gotten better. The new, like they completely redid the launcher. And it's a significant improvement. Still not great, but it's a whole lot better than it was. Or maybe it's just X-Defiant is fine. Like with because like I remember playing Rainbow Six Siege when it came out on PC. And like you had to do everything through the Ubisoft launcher. And, oh, Siege was not pleasant through the Ubi launcher at all. Just the worst. Playing on hardware, emulator. I'm an emulation guy. Because mostly getting upscaling equipment is expensive. That's like kind of the primary reason. Other than that, there's really not much of a difference between the two nowadays. I mean, obviously, there's some difference. But visually speaking, bugs aside, like once you've got games working right on emulator, there's not too much of a difference. Because even if you want to like keep the dithering or the interlaced resolution or anything like that, you just can. Like that's a thing that we can just, you know, mess around with. Playing all Rainbow Six games that ever existed. I've played a lot of them, but there's a ton of them. But like when I was a kid, I had the original Rainbow Six on PS1. Ow, ow, ow. That is, there we go, flak gun. I was like, where the hell are those? Shit. Okay. They have flak guns. Good to know. I probably should use bombs too. First played Rainbow Six on Game Boy Color. I really like the original Rainbow Six. I still kind of go back occasionally. It's really janky, but it's really fun. Which COD campaign is my favorite? Probably... I'm stuck between two of them. It's either Black Ops 1 or COD 4. I could go either way, depending on the day. Grand Theft Auto on Game Boy Color. I feel like so many games got a Game Boy port, and I just constantly learn about new ones every day. And it's a complete roll of the dice. I feel like GTA 1 would be perfectly fine. That game would probably translate well, right? Oh shit, I didn't look at my why did I? I'll think of it. Ace Style, that's what it's called. It's not too bad. I feel like GTA 1 could work. Rainbow Six, I don't think could work on Game Boy. Ow, what the fuck? I'm not even close to a flat gun. These old PS2 AC flat guns are something else. Where is it? It'll be here somewhere. I'll find it eventually. GTA 2 was also on Game Boy Color. I feel like those could work. Top-down games kind of lend themselves to Game Boy pretty well. First-person shooters, I'm not so sure. But, you know, maybe some aren't the worst. The mind was blown with GTA 3. When was the last time? I went back and replayed GTA 3, I think during COVID, during lockdown. So like 2020, I went and did like a full replay of it. Didn't age well. Like, I wish it did, but it didn't. It just, oh, it was a little rough. I got through the whole thing, to be fair. I don't want to 100% it ever, because I know just how much there is to do with like collectibles and all that. I don't need to spend that much time in GTA 3. Not nowadays. Back then, maybe. 36.5. My power went out like 30 minutes into the last Ace Combat stream. So there's a VOD of 30 minutes. It's not even half of a stream. So I just thought it would be funny to just say 36.5. It's just me shit posting. If I remember right, for the Ace style, I was a little too far towards Knight. So I think I'm gonna destroy like all but 3 here and just see what happens. We've still got time to adjust. To really like get it exactly in the middle. On Ace, we're on Expert, to be fair. We're not on Ace yet. I'm way more scared of the flak than the AA as well. Way more scared of the flak. Oh, there we go. Is that it? We good? It was a janky spin. Keep the 0.5, it's hilarious. I thought it was funny. Damage is scary enough. Yeah. Damage is a little scary. Is there? Is there an Ace Squadron? Oh, no, it's this. Okay. It's this bit. I was like, am I still going?
What was that? Something flashed again.
Sort of makes sense. It's Expert. We're not up to Ace yet, because, you know, you got to do the progressive unlocks. Oh, shit. All right. I'm not going to be too bold about this, because I've learned from the many times that I've tried to fly too fast during this segment. This is like one of the few segments in Ace Combat that is not a matter of skill when it comes to how fast you fly during it. It's just flying fast gets you killed in this one. Using guns only. Oh, that one's behind me. I'll take it. No. Just no. Ooh. Yeah, because of that. You can't pull away from that when you're going like 1,500 units per second, whatever it is in this game. They change the units like every couple Ace Combat games, so I've given up. Units per second at this point. Works for me. Is this one miles, chat, or is this one like by default? Because I know they all have the options, but I never change it. So it's whatever the default is for each game. I don't know if anyone's even gonna know that off the top of their head. It's a long shot. Oh shit. Okay, so remember when I said I wasn't gonna fly too fast because I've learned and I know better, and PS2 trilogy defaults to miles per hour. At least it's a short mission, thank God. But that's a classic Chole moment. Like, oh yeah, I know better. I'm gonna take it nice and slow, and then I gun it straight into the space laser. Already existed. Oh, I know that people have done it. I'm never doing it. Okay, I gotta try to find the flak first when I get up here. They're brutal. Good luck during the Pixie fight. Pixie fight would be awful with guns only. It's somewhere over on this side. Okay, missiles might be easier for hunting this one down. Is it you? No, you're a Sam. That's a flak. Shit. I couldn't get it. I think it's just the one. Hello, Jess. You have to do guns only for medals in 6 and 7? Yeah, about that. Maybe at a certain point the medals just aren't worth it. Thoughts? Opinions? Actually, it can't be that bad. Right? It can't be. I did Ace Combat 3 on hard mode on all 5 routes. It can't be that bad. Dude, I did air combat on hard mode without loading saves. Like, I actually did the arcade mode thing. Yeah, I could probably do guns only. It's probably not as hard as doing either of those, to be fair. Recite the alphabet backwards? I can't do that. For the record, I've talked about this before. If I get pulled over and they ask me to say the alphabet backwards, I'm screwed. It's not happening. Oh, there is a second flak gun. I'm glad that it didn't destroy me.
I'm getting frustrated here. Our firepower isn't doing the trick. Radar lock.
I'm so cooked if they ever ask me to say the alphabet backwards. Like, do the balance test? Fine. You know what's the worst? Is that they can still, like, arrest you and bring you in off of the... I guess I get why, but what's very inconvenient... Fuck. If I ever, like, say that I do get asked to say the alphabet backwards, just arrest me. Is at that point I'm like, yeah, just bring me in, we'll do the blood test. I can't do it. Sorry, what was... Oh, yeah. Even if you, like, blow a 0 on the breathalyzer, but you fail, like, some of the field sobriety, like, you fail to say the alphabet backwards or some shit, they can still bring you in. They can still arrest you for it. So even me, Mr. No drink, no fun, I could blow a straight 0 and get screwed on one of the field tests, and I'm going in. If the guy's a dick, it kind of, you know, it depends how strongly they actually suspect you, how much of a dick they are is a factor. I can't do that on the best of days. That's what I'm saying. I can't say the alphabet backwards. Some of the tests I've never tried, but I don't feel too confident about my ability to do a couple of them. Like the walking heel to toe thing, that's easy. That's fine. I could do that any day. But there's that one where you've got to like stand on one foot and close your eyes and like tilt your head back to look up and keep your balance while do it. They have you like recite something while you do it, and I'm like, dude, if I might be able to do that. I don't know. I have no idea. That's a big maybe. I'm looking at chat too much. Have you encountered a Karen? Yes. I used to work in customer service. Of course I have. I used to work at an after-school program as well. So extra yes, actually. Most of my Karen experience from like working part-time jobs was when I did the after-school program. When I worked there. The Chole lore, my last job in high school, like until COVID hit, I was doing this. It was like an after school, like tutor slash just kind of like, I don't know how even to describe it. Daycare. It's an after school program, but it was for special education. It was like a special ed after school program. And oh my god, some of the parents were the absolute worst. I'm sure it would be just as bad, if not worse, at any other after school program, but Jesus, dude. The actual worst. I remember there was one time, this was like near the middle of me being there. Cause I was there for a while. I was there for a couple years. There was one time that we only had me and 2 other people on shift. It was an after school thing, but we were open on like Saturday, like all day as well. And it was like me and 2 other people, and all 3 of us were on for like 8 to 8 that day. Because we just didn't have anyone else. And Saturday was always the busiest, because it was like all day. It's the weekend. So if the parents had to like go run errands or whatever in the morning, you know, you bring your kid, drop them off, go do whatever, pick them up on the way back, sort of thing. Also, Jesus, I really blew it with the space lasers, because now I'm stuck. Saturday was always super busy. And so I was working the front desk, because we kind of always have to have someone up there, like greeting people, doing all the boring office stuff, like answering emails, answering the phone and everything. So I was at the front desk this day. And we had 2 people actually working with the kids. And at one point, I think we had like 24 kids in. And like 2 people to actually like be working with them, right? Be back there with them. And this one woman comes up and starts yelling at me at the front desk because her kid was like doing his homework. And he had like his hand raised to get help. And by the way, she's sitting here. She didn't like drop her kid off. She like brought him there and was sitting in the lobby the whole time. And we had like a glass window where they could see in from the front lobby. And like her kid had her hand up for like a couple minutes while the other 2 people working were like helping out with other kids' stuff. And this woman comes up and starts yelling at me, and I'm like, I don't know what you want me to do. Like, I was on the phone as well. I distinctly remember being on the phone when she came up and started complaining. Like, I was mid-conversation with whoever was calling, probably answering some random question on the phone. Some of the parents were just awful, just the worst. Like, I get it. Her kid had her his hand up. I don't remember I don't remember who the kid was, but like, I get that they've had their hand up for a minute, but also, like, there's 2 people back there trying to manage like 20 kids. You gotta cut them a little bit of slack. They're working on it. They're trying. Must have been rough. It wasn't like, the job wasn't so bad, but the owner of the place ran it really poorly, so we were almost always understaffed, or just having some other issue, like management related issue, where it's like, this shouldn't be a problem, but management didn't like do their job, so we're in a shit spot. There was a lot of that. Like, it's closed now. The place isn't open anymore. They went out of business. Surprisingly, not during COVID. They stayed open during COVID. I just quit during COVID because I wasn't gonna work there. Like, we're talking, I remember quitting very well because I was talking with the owner. At this point, I was assistant manager there. I was talking with the owner, like, when COVID, like when lockdown first went into place. Like, we shut down for like a couple weeks, and then we kind of got to that point where it was like, because remember, we all thought it was going to be like a 2-week thing at first, and then, you know, we get into like week 2, and it's kind of like, yeah, we might actually still need to stay locked down for a bit. This might be more than a 2-week thing. And the owner, my boss, starts calling me, and he's like, hey, I think that we should actually reopen, like, this next week. And I was like, what? It's like, yeah. So, like, schools are going online, and like, a lot of businesses are going online. I think that we should open because kids will still, like, want to come and get, like, help with homework or whatever, have, like, a social space because they're not actually going to school. And I'm like, you're crazy. You're actually, I'm not, no. I didn't quit that day, but I was just like, look, any remote work for like management side that you need me to do, I can do that. That's fine. But like, I'm not gonna go and actually work in the building, like with kids during pandemic lockdown. You're crazy. No. And they actually kind of thrived during COVID because he decided to reopen, like business-wise. They made a lot of money because he was keeping it open. I don't know how he was keeping it open. I'm shocked that they didn't, like, that no one came in and was like, hey, you can't do this. I'm actually kind of surprised that that never occurred. But they did pretty well because, like, it was the only place like that around that was actually open. But then I guess once everything kind of got back open again, they started to struggle again. And I think, I mean, I know they're out of business now. I don't know what happened. That time feels like forever ago, and also like yesterday. It feels like a really long time ago. It's kind of weird because, like, trying to remember things from like that initial lockdown period feels kind of difficult. Like, it feels like it was a really long time ago. But like, anything that happened like just before lockdown feels like it happened just yesterday. And like the last, what, 4 years have been a complete blur. At least for me. Like, the actual lockdown stuff, like everything going online and all that for like school and work, feels like ages ago. But all the stuff that was like right before feels like it had just happened. It's strange. Nah, that'll never happen here. It was so weird. I remember also, because we thought it was going to be like a 2-week thing, none of like the teachers for my school had anything prepared, so it was such a shit show. In terms of like the actual school stuff for me, because they were all kind of scrambling to try to figure it out on the spot, but it kind of just ended up being like, all right, I guess me and the boys will just play Warzone all day. You know, Call of Duty Warzone just came out. That's like my core memory of like lockdown was that Warzone came out like the first week that at least our state shut down. It legitimately came out like right as we had nothing better to do but sit inside all day. So dude, me and the boys were just playing Call of Duty Warzone all day. It was free to play. It was cross-platform. Before that was like standard. This was still kind of like cross-platform was just becoming a thing. I've talked about that before. It's crazy how quickly cross-platform games went from like hardly existing to being the standard. It took like 3 years for that to happen. It's so strange. In Canada, PSN costs $100 plus a year. Jesus. If it's not going on sale, no more online games because I'm cheap like that. Someone beat me to the PC thing. I was going to say it, but now I don't have to say it. If you're able to. If you're able to. It is absolutely the move. Okay. Gun it until the first laser, I was told. Oh, hold on. There's a little something over there, too. Over in that direction. Oh, yeah, Steam Deck is supposed to be good. What I just learned, like, yesterday about the Steam Deck, though, is the storage on that thing is actually pretty brutal. I learned through False's chat, because one of her mods was complaining about, like, having a storage issue on her Steam Deck. And I was like, oh, well, how much storage does the thing have? Because, you know, just, like, if you're having a storage issue, all you gotta do is uninstall some games you aren't playing. And she's like, no, like, I've done that. This thing has so little storage. And I was like, how much? Oh, shit, fuck. My brain. God, it lagged there where I was so focused on the laser and talking and, oh, pain. Yeah, I was like, how much storage does it have? Because it can't be that bad. And she apparently got like the cheapest model, which has like 250 gigs of storage. 250? 250? Ow. Became standard because of the pandemic. That actually could be part of it. I think a lot of it was, I mean, I've talked about before, I remember like the first really big cross-platform game, and I would also say a game that became as popular as it did partially because it was cross-platform was Fortnite. Like, that was the first big one that I really remember. Was Fortnite. You could play like on any system with all your friends. And that was a really big deal when Fortnite first was coming out and blowing up. You can expand it with an SD card. Yeah, it does have a slot for an SD card. Oh god. Whoa, whoa, why did my target go way over there? That was spooky as shit. The ace combat targeting got to me again. It almost killed me that time. Jesus Christ. Minecraft Bedrock? I forget that there even is like the non-Java edition of Minecraft. By the way, as someone who, you know, has recreationally played some Minecraft over the years, in a very casual opinion, fuck Bedrock. All the real ones play Java. Java's where it's at. You have 8 guided bombs. Yeah, they don't do a whole lot. Like the, what's it called? The radius on them isn't really enough to like encourage me to use them over just a missile. Maybe for the yellow targets it could be better because they're really tightly clustered. Holy shit. I'm gonna get shot down again. What's the difference between Java and Bedrock? They're basically the same. But all of the like menus and stuff like that on the Bedrock edition are just gross. I hate the Bedrock menus. I think they look like shit. I really don't like them. Oh yeah, and it has the weird monetization stuff. They added all of that like after I was kind of out of the loop. But they do have a ton of like really wild monetization stuff on Bedrock. Only take out one unless they're super clustered. Yeah, I think if the... What's it? If the yellow targets are close enough, it'll probably be good for those. But for everything else on this level, like I was using them, but I was just noticing that they didn't really like hit more than one target. So it's like, what's the point of swapping? Let's see, does that hit 2? Oh, that hit all 3. Okay, that was good. Yes, the yellow targets are close enough. There is... I'm assuming Pocket Edition still gets support, like the mobile Minecraft. I can't imagine it doesn't. Any Minecrafters in chat? Wait, Bedrock actually runs on C? Does it? The game... Wait, the 2 versions of Minecraft? You're telling me that they run in totally different coding languages. Oh, mobile is also Bedrock. Okay. Terraria? I disagree. I had a buddy try to get me into Terraria, speaking of the lockdown, during COVID lockdown. Because it was like, oh yeah, this would be a fun time to like pick up. Because that was also... They dropped like that big update where the game was literally like $1. Because of it. Fucking shit. I didn't see it. So I picked it up and he was like, oh yeah, I've played this game like on and off for years. So I'll show you how it works. And I just wasn't too big on it. Wasn't for me. It definitely seems like it has more going on than Minecraft, but I just didn't like the way that it played, I guess. I think I'd like 4 better. I expected to get right into it with all the Armored Core parallels. If 7 wasn't your bag, you might like 4 better. But I think that 7 is like the second best in the series. And like all of the core Ace Combat stuff is in 7. So I feel like it might be one of those things where if 7 wasn't for you, like you might get some mileage out of other games, but it might just be that Ace Combat isn't going to be your thing. 4 would be worth trying out. I think 4 is the best if you ask me. I think 4 is peak Ace Combat. A lot of people think 0. Made me deeply uncomfortable. I love Go Dance with the Angels. It is so... how do I want to describe this? Perfectly dumb. Like, it has that so bad it's good quality, where you just can't help but smile at it because it's so goofy. Like, it just sounds so silly every time they say it that it's entertaining. 100% cheese. Yeah, it's got like that PS1 Resident Evil charm to it every time, where you're just like, oh my god, people don't talk like this. What? I kind of love it. I kind of love Go Dance with the Angels. Jill Sandwich. I could sit here and quote Resident Evil 1 all day. I'm not gonna start. Because you know, everyone knows the Jill Sandwich and what else? Chris, why are you laughing? And blah blah. But like, I will pull out the most obscure RE1 quotes that are really funny and just never get talked about as much as they should. One of my favorites to bring up every time is in the main hall with Barry when he gives you like the acid rounds. He has a couple amazing lines if you get that encounter to spawn, because it's based on how you've played the game up to that point, so you might never see it when you play as Jill. But if you get it, he has a couple lines in that one discussion where, first of all, he says, oh my god, but he has such like a weird emphasis on the G sound in God, and it's so breathy that it sounds like oh my cod, like the fish. And you'll never unhear it now. Now that I've said it, you'll never unhear oh my cod. It's hilarious. But the better one is, take this. It's a weapon. It's very powerful, especially against living things. As opposed to what, Barry? What else am I gonna shoot this weapon at? You gave me acid rounds. What else am I shooting this at? What did you want me to do with these, other than shoot it at a living thing? It's so dumb. I love Barry Burton so much. He's the best Resident Evil character ever. Oh my Call of Duty. RE6, best RE, don't at me. RE6 has a lot of fun to it. Like, Resident Evil old heads will tell you that it is the worst thing ever created, but like, it's just a fun, big, stupid game. I like RE6. I don't love it, but I do really like it in its own dumb way. Fuck. Oh my god. I would have been so pissed. All right, slow and steady into the big radar cloud. Fuck. Avoid the space laser. Oh, god damn it. Ada Grunt, best co-op character in existence. I learned a little more lore about the Ada Grunt, because I never played RE6 in co-op back when it came out. But I've learned some lore about the Ada Grunt. Not in-game, not in-universe lore, but just some background for him. When the game first came out, Ada's campaign was not playable in co-op at all. And people who were playing the entire game in co-op were really pissed. Because all of a sudden, like, they had played the whole other 3 campaigns and they just couldn't play the last one with their partner, right? So Capcom listened to the criticism and added this random grunt to the game in a later patch that allowed her campaign to be playable in co-op. He was never meant to be there. They patched him in so that people would actually be able to play it with whoever they played the rest of the game with. It was so crap. RE3 Remake is perfectly fine, as long as you're not like a purist for the original, and like everyone always says that it's way too short, but it's legitimately the average length of a Resident Evil game if we're not talking like the action games, right? If we're not talking like 4, 5, and 6. If we're judging it by the standard of like the survival horror Resi games, it's as long as any other Resident Evil game is. I think I think there's a lot of valid criticism about the 3 remake, but a lot of it is also just kind of echo chamber nonsense, in my opinion. Oh God. Oh shit. Although some of this could just be me shilling. The lifelong Resident Evil super fan I am. Oh God. I prefer the remake of 3 to the original. As someone who grew up playing the original on PS1, for the record. When I go to replay RE3, I normally opt for the remake. Because the original RE3 was the worst of the PS1 trilogy. It's the most short game out of them all. No, it's not. It's like a 6-hour game. I guess 6 hours if you're taking it all in, 5 hours if you're not. And that's like normal Resident Evil length. Aren't some areas cut? Yeah, that's where, like, that's what I'm talking about with like the valid stuff. Because I also don't like that the clock tower and the factory and the park got cut from the game.
We lost several of our,
but it's like, then it's just kind of weird because
like
I never hear the Resident Evil fandom complain about how much cut content there was in the RE2 remake.
We survived.
Because RE2 remake cut half of the story content out of the game. And that's not an exaggeration. Half of the story content from the 2 remake got cut.
Sacrifices on our side due to enemy laser ordnance.
But like no one ever really, like RE3 cut, I think like a little over a quarter of the game's areas, going off of memory. Oh, that's beautiful. That's like, maybe we could be just a touch more to the left, but that's pretty good. There's an achievement for under 2 hours. There's always a speedrun achievement in Resi games. RE1 remake has an achievement for under 3 hours. Like, maybe it's a little shorter, but I mean, if we're talking an hour difference, because also RE1 remake doesn't have what's it called? Persistent upgrades like RE3 does. Because that achievement in RE3 is designed around you also having things like increased damage and like literal wonder weapons for when you do that run of the game. And having keys unlocked that you don't have to go and grab before you actually start up the campaign. They're just in your item box.
According to our information, the strike zone is heavily guarded by a jamming facility and multiple
And I've said it before with a lot of games, not just Resident Evil. Judging the game's quality, length, whatever, off of speedruns is not indicative of how the game actually plays for like 99% of people.
In light of this, we've called in reinforcements for this mission. Work together with them to achieve the mission objectives.
Resident Evil Remake is shorter than a COD campaign mode, and we all know COD's short. A Resident Evil 1 remake? Is that what you mean? Super duper min-max? You're not playing the game, you're racing the game? Yeah, I mean, I get it a lot, where when talking about like qualities or what's it? Flaws in games, people will use speedruns as examples, and I always have to be like, you guys, we can't judge games off of a speedrun. It's just, that's not how the game like normally plays. Makes the puff smoother. RE3 remake? Hold on, I'm curious. I own all the Resi games on Steam, and they all, I think most of them at least have speedrun achievements. I want to compare the lengths real quick. RE1 remake. All of these are, oh, there we go. Okay, yeah, so I was right about the 3 hours for RE1 remake off the top of my head. No, I've never done it. I don't normally go for these crazy like speed runs and stuff. Hours. Does 2 make have a speedrun achievement? What a time capsule. Left 4 Dead 2 does not get uninstalled. Ever. Hold on. I need to just pull up like achievement sites instead, because Steam has all these hidden achievements that I don't have. I guess RE2 remake doesn't have any speedrun achievements, weirdly enough. Although that's not really something to go for. It's not a hold on. So RE3 remake. Let me see the hour, the 2 hour. It's gonna be there, right? Yeah, under 2 hours of playtime. Does 4 have? 4 is really long. Yeah, this is where I was like, 4, 5, and 6 are not comparable, because this game has an achievement for completing it in under 8 hours. So skip the action horror games. 7, 4 hours? 7 is not that long. 7 is not that long. Where 4 hours would be like an achievement. What is Village? Does Village has to have some, right? Yeah, Village also has a 3 hour achievement. All Valve games are time capsules. Man. Remember when Valve made games? Made zombies unpopular. I thought this was gonna be like a shit post. I read that at first as Last of Us 2 made zombies popular, and I thought we were shitposting. I was like, you're goddamn right it did. No one knew what a zombie was before The Last of Us 2. My favorite plane livery. All right. I'm a fake plane nerd. What does livery mean? They keep updating them? Dude, literally, hold on. Let me go back to my Steam. Left 4 Dead 2, right? Look at this. They patched this game yesterday. I know my monitor's huge and I can't zoom in on Steam. I'm sorry. Oh, there we go. It blows up. Tuesday, June 4th, 2024, 5 p.m. Last night, they patched Left 4 Dead 2. I saw it randomly when I when I opened Steam last night. And I was just like, dude, these guys are still patching Left 4 Dead. Are you shitting me? And it's just like a little bug fix patch, but it's like, what? We actually are still supporting this. Meanwhile, the rest of the AAA industry. The Last of Us 2 was another nail in the coffin. Yeah, zombie games have been on the downfall for a bit. I still like a good zombie game. I can't lie. Like a good one. Qualifier, a good zombie game. You know, give me like The Last of Us. Or not The Last of Us. I meant to say Left 4 Dead. I famously don't like The Last of Us. That was a crazy slip. Give me Left 4 Dead. Give me like COD Zombies. Not like MW3 or Vanguard, you know, like proper COD Zombies. Give me that. Give me Killing Floor. Actually, Killing Floor 3 so far looks awesome. Like, we haven't even seen much gameplay, but dude, looks so good. The new, what we've really seen a ton of is just like the new art style and Z designs and stuff like that. Oh, those teasers that they keep dropping are crazy. Killing Floor 3 is gonna go way harder than it has any right to. Mark my words. Hold on, Jess, you're here, right? Surely you've seen them? All the little, like, Zed teasers, all the new designs and stuff. Which one of you's? This one.
Destroy all jamming facilities within the perimeter. Strip Excalibur of its defenses.
Oh, God.
Jamming facility 1 destroyed.
Two best games I've... I famously don't like The Last of Us. Like, it's a thing where, like, I think the story in The Last of Us is phenomenal, and I can never take that away from the game, right? But, man, it's just so boring to play. And also, I mean, this was a long time ago now, so not as many people who are, like, currently hanging around chat often were there for this. But I was, like, because everyone knows, because I joke about it a lot, that I dislike The Last of Us, I was going to give the game, like, another big chance when the PC port came out. I was like, yeah, I'm gonna pick up that PC port, like, when it comes out, and I'm gonna give The Last of Us another chance. You know, I'll give it another run, see if I was wrong about it. And then the technical state that the port launched in, I shouldn't have to tell the majority of people about it. It was kind of a big disaster. Like, the game was unplayable even on, like, 4090s and stuff for the first couple months of being out. So I just couldn't even, like, get through the game. I just couldn't even, like, get through the game. It was... Oh. I tried. I stuck with it for a bit. But at a certain point, the game dipping into the 20s... Like, what's it called? Like an 11-year-old game dipping into the 20s on, like, medium settings on my PC, I was like, dude, I can't play this. Like, I can't take this anymore. It's good now? Okay. Apparently Last of Us 2 is already done porting. I've heard that. I think they're just trying to spread out the releases. Uh-oh. Saggy Scro, thank you for the sub, appreciate it. I have no idea what Scro could possibly be referring to, or why it would be saggy. Not a clue. I have not played Dragon's Dogma 2 yet. I haven't played the first one. Like, at some point I'm gonna have to play both, because I know that the first one was like a big cult classic back in the day. Like one of those games that not a ton of people paid it. Sorry, I read chat. Someone in chat said paid. Not a ton of people played it when it came out, but like over the years, like word of mouth kind of spread and was like, yeah, this is good. This is really good. I didn't even hear about the game for the first time until like I was in college. And someone I was working with on a project was randomly like, you ever play Dragon's Dogma 2? And I was like, what? Or sorry, not 2. You ever play Dragon's Dogma? And I was like, what the fuck is Dragon's Dogma? Should run smoother on more powerful hardware. To be fair to it somewhat, it is the PS5 version of the game. But even then, my old PC, which I was on at the time, before I built like the new chonker PC that we use now, my old PC still outspec'd a PS5. So it was still a pretty massive disaster that I couldn't get the game running at 30 on medium settings. I'm sure with all the patches and stuff now on the new PC, it would be nowhere near as bad. But at the time, it was so bad that like I wanted to give the game a good chance with that port, and I just genuinely had to give up on it. Like I just couldn't stick with it anymore. I tried so hard for so long. Come on, I don't want him to escape. Yes. I can't believe it was launched in such a state originally. It was 100%, and I feel like everyone is kind of on the same page with this. You know, I'm far from the first person to bring this up. It was 100% released in that state because the show was like, either the show had just started airing, like the first couple episodes, or it was like the show was about to come out. I can't remember, one or the other. And it was 100% to cash in on like the PC audience right when the show was coming out. But man, that blew up in their faces because yeah, what, you thought that was gonna work? Like putting the port out in that kind of state to cash in on it? I mean, I'm sure like a lot of people bought it, but man, how much damage to your reputation does that do? Like, I'm sure The Last of Us 2 port, I'm not gonna buy The Last of Us 2 port day one. Like, Digital Foundry could come out and say that it's the most incredibly optimized, mind-blowing port of all time. I'm still not gonna trust it. After that last one, ain't no way I'm gonna trust it. Part 1 remake? On PS5, on PC, the port came out in like March 23, I wanna say. Oh, I can see the laser through my plane. Oh, fuck. That... Whoa. Whoa. F Cyberpunk and all its add-ons? All its add-ons? There's one. Like, Cyberpunk is such an underdog story. I mean, like, long-term, obviously when it was coming out, it was like, oh my god, how did this fail? But nowadays, looking back at it, it's like, man, they turned it around like crazy. The PC version came out in March. Yeah, the PC port came out later. Was launched in January. Okay, so it was like the show was ending then. It was like the show was out, but I think it was either still running or like just finishing up. I think it was probably just finishing up then, because they did do like a 2-episode premiere and then weekly episodes, right? I didn't watch through the whole show. I liked it, but there was barely anything that wasn't literally just retelling the game story. And I played the game twice before the show came out, like over the years, so I was like, I don't really need to watch this. Like, I loved Pedro in it. I thought his Joel was awesome. I have the hot take that I think Pedro's Joel, I at least liked Pedro's Joel more than Troy Baker's. I know it's like heresy. I've said it before and people have been pissed, but I really liked Pedro as Joel. Like a whole lot. But I think I watched like the first, I want to say I got through like 5 episodes. Which episode was it? The Bill episode. Yeah, that take on that episode was awesome because like A, it was new, like not from the game, and B, it was just really good. Like well acted, well written. The production was great. They could have just made an entire series out of that. I probably would have watched an entire series of that. The show, as it was, I got like halfway through. I got like 5 episodes in, I want to say. Pixie fight was Excalibur's laser. I didn't say that it's weird that Excalibur never comes back. I said that the pacing was all sorts of fucked in terms of like suspense and all that, because they introduced the weapon at the end of one mission and then the very next mission is you destroying it. That's what my thing with Excalibur was, and I stand by it. There's like no suspense built on that. Because, you know, Ace Combat, normally they like space out the super weapons, like they really kind of build it up to be this big threat before you finally get your battle with it. Zero is just like introduction, destruction, back to back, like immediately. It's probably just because the campaign is short, but even then, like we had 15 missions, or sorry, 16, I think. We had enough time where we could have spaced it out. It didn't need to be back to back as it is. I think they softened up Chole a little too much. I feel like I kind of liked that, though. In general, I think that might just be a me thing, thinking about it now. Typically when people complain about like the main hero getting a little like softened up. Oh, it's 18. It's longer than I thought, or more missions than I thought, rather. Like Halo 4 Master Chief, I think is great. I tend to like when they soften up the hero a little bit, whereas a lot of people don't. I think that might just be a me thing. Oh shit. Last 3 are one sortie. That's true. That might be why I think of it as being less missions than it is. Let's see. I've already shot 3 yellows. There's like 10 of them here. I probably want to have destroyed like 7 total, because I could go a little tiny bit more towards mercenary still. So that's the plan. The XBO was foreshadowed. What's the XBO? Is that the laser that Pixie has? Ooh, shit. Oh, the flying fortress. Is there a flying fortress in this game? I say during my 3rd playthrough. Hold on. There's no way. Yes? All right, I'm revoking my Ace Combat pass after that one. That's a bad one. Wah! That laser is fucked up. I want to leave the yellow targets as they are. Actively try. I'm not, is the thing. I actually forgot that there's a flying fortress. I can't even picture it right now. Like I'm trying to think of it. Oh wait. This game is the one where you get like the cool, like first person sequence, like on the runway, right? Where the fortress comes in and like fucks shit up. That's this game, right? That's 0?
Good. Destroy Excalibur, Cipher. I know you can do it.
Or is that 5? Yeah, okay, that is this one. That bit is cool. I do remember that. That's this one. I do remember that. What the fuck? That's not a hit? Do I have to hit like directly the top of it? I must. Oh, I don't like how sketchy that is. Yeah, the Jeep drift. Yeah. I remember that cutscene. That's crazy that I forgot there was a flying fortress in 0. I feel like I missed something in chat. Oh, there it is. I was like, I feel like I missed something that I meant to come back to. Has your opinion changed after playing these on Ace? Yes. Yeah. Well, kind of. Not such a definitive yes. I take that back, because I always add like the qualifier of, like, the videos are from the perspective of, like, the first time run, right? Like, just one run front to back with no prior experience with it. Like, here's the thoughts after. So it's not like anything that I say in the videos. Well, actually, sometimes I just make like a big whoopsie in the videos. Zero has a pretty big whoopsie in its video. But most of the time, like, the opinions there still stand like in that context. But replaying 5 over and over again is a pain in the ass. Don't like that. Ace Combat 3, I noticed that the difficulty balancing is not good on hard mode. That game is a pain in the ass. Okay, now I took out like one too many. God damn it. I'm trying to think. As far as Ace Combat, still love 4. 4 still the best. Absolutely. I still think 0 has a lot of flaws, but at the very least, like, gameplay-wise, 0 is one of the easiest to kind of just replay over and over, which helps a lot. Trying to think. Oh, air combat. Holy shit, air combat. Like, when I first did air combat, I kind of thought that it was just, you know, I've never played a flight game, so this is hard just because of that. Turns out that air combat is also just really fucking hard. Like, just that's just how the game actually is normally. How you praised it for infinite gun ammo? I didn't necessarily praise it. At least I don't think. I might be misremembering. But I think that I was kind of like, if they're trying to get me to use the gun more, it worked. Oh, I might have praised it because of how often I ran out of missiles during the missions, actually. I might vaguely remember saying something like that, now that I'm thinking about it. I feel like infinite machine gun ammo could have been a cool thing. Like, if they had just done it all up across the difficulties. But I kind of get having the harder difficulties. Then you found out hard mode exists. Yeah. I didn't expect something like that to change across difficulties when I was like writing the video. I just didn't foresee that. God damn, planes get expensive past like the early cheap ones in this game. My opinion on playing AC5's campaign and only the F-14. I could probably do it. Do I want to do it? Actually, maybe someday, but it's the same in AC4. No, 4 has limited ammo on normal. There's something that's different in 4. Oh, never mind. No, never mind. I was thinking of 4, like when you get up to ace mode, it stops repairing your damage on ace. A lot of people in the comments were saying that it doesn't repair your damage on anything like above normal. But when we did the 3 playthroughs for streams, found out that that's just not correct. It's only on ace mode it doesn't repair your damage in 4. That might be different in other games where the return line comes back, though. That might be why so many people thought that it worked like that. That's also in the later games, where it's only on ace. Because I'm thinking maybe in later games it also stops repairing it on hard mode and above, which is where like a lot of people thought that's how that worked in 4. That would totally make sense to me. Good question.
Time to dive into the fireworks.
Now this is where the tiger shark shines. Fuck, I brought bombs. It's fine. We didn't need specials anyway. Whoever needed special weapons, clearly not me. Whoosh. Why do you have XAGMs? I was not paying attention. I was yapping to chat. It happens. Sometimes I enter autopilot and I think that I listened to the briefing, but then immediately after the briefing ends, I just forget everything that they said. It's fine. We don't need specials, chat. Normal missiles are all we need. Oh, what the fuck? I feel like both of those should have hit. Zero's music is still goated, by the way. I don't... it might... Zero is either my favorite soundtrack or like it's... I would say more accurately, it's tied for my favorite. I don't think I could choose between 0 and 7. They're both just full of bangers. I don't think I could choose one or the other. They're both right there. Like other games have some crazy bangers, but none of them have as many as 0 and 7. Oh god. The only title where you inflict PTSD. Hey, this is the only one where we know that we inflicted PTSD. I'm sure it happens at least once a game, right? My favorite aerial furball. Why can I only think of one? Why can I only think of the dog in 5? Whose name I forget every single time. Blow stuff up. Yes, it did eat whatever that would have been. Hello, Ryan. I had a comment. Like out of the blue a couple days ago, I got a comment on one of the Metal Gear videos. That was just in all caps, stop deleting my comments on this video. And I don't delete comments. I just don't. So I was like, that's weird. And at first I was just like, that's kind of just strange. He must be commenting and thinking that I'm deleting them because he can't see them or whatever. I don't know. And then like a few hours later, it hit me when my brain randomly thought back to it. I was like, oh, I wonder if YouTube is holding his comment. So I go into YouTube Studio and I go to the comments on the channel and I go to the held for review section where I can actually like read them. And there's nothing there. And then I open the held for review within the held for review, which is the held for review because of offensive content. And I found all the supposed deleted comments. YouTube was holding them because, wow, those were not nice words to use. Very not nice. It was just like, whoa. Wow. Just wow. God damn it. There we go. Wow, fuck. We were doing so well. Hold on, I might actually quit and grab specials because of that. Because I think there's more after clearing them out. And I was kind of low on missiles by the end of that. The lad called you a poo head. Some more colorful language than that. Language that I would never use, certainly. And I have a potty mouth. But language that goes beyond normal swears. If you're catching my drift. Oh, I don't need to go to the hangar. I just need to start up again. Stop erasing my hate. It was... woof. Slurs? Yes, you, my friend, are catching my drift. Yeah. Have you heard of Project Wingman? No, never. What's Project Wingman? What is that? Never heard of it once. Certainly not. I actually don't know when the last comment, because, like, you know, Ace Combat videos, they're not, like, dead by any means, because YouTube videos live on. You'll never be a woman. How do you know this reference? Who are you, Dylan? How long have you been hanging around to know this one? I haven't talked about that in ages. That a lot of people who, like, a common thing that happens, if you've ever, like, seen the description for my channel, if you open it, the channel description just simply says, my name is not Chloe, because of the sheer amount of people who misread my channel's name as Chloe, right? And I often do get comments that are like, no matter how bad you want to be, you'll never be a woman, or why does his voice sound like a man? Etc, etc. Those comments are always wild, dude. Yeah. Those don't get caught by the YouTube filter. I think the YouTube filter is actually kind of basic, where it's literally just looking for, like, certain keywords. I mean, what's it called? Why does it sound like a man, I guess, wouldn't get filtered, but, like, you'll never be a woman might be one that's like, yeah, if we had a more sophisticated filter, it might look for that. But the YouTube filter really is just looking for, like, keywords and nothing else, at least as far as I'm concerned. I was like, oh, maybe it's her boyfriend. Nope. Just a very easy name to misread, evidently. Never forget, another creator friend of mine, False, ran a poll on her Discord where she just put, like, she just typed Chole, and then the poll was, did you read this as Chloe? Yes or no? And like 60% of her Discord said yes. I was like, oh my God, we're so cooked. It's over. There's no way. You're not a woman? I don't know what's real anymore. Back. Hello, Jess. I'm gonna leave that one. Oh, I kind of had the feeling after I launched my own missile. Fuck. I was like, this guy's flying right at me, not doing anything. He's gonna point blank me, isn't he? Sure enough. I haven't gotten one of those in a bit, like the "you'll never be a woman" comment. It's actually been a decent amount of time since the last one. Ooh, fuck. Hold on, I'm kind of curious about the Project Wingman comment now. When is the last time I got a Project Wingman? I can keyword search it. Never mind, it was 1 day ago. Actually, I got 2 of them 1 day ago, so I got 2 of them yesterday. I thought it had been longer, but Never mind. I really was like, it's been a while since I got the last Project Wingman comment. Like, natural, genuine Project Wingman comment. Nope. It has not been. I clearly blocked them out of my memory. Just instantly read over them something. Oh, come on. Turn, bitch. Come on. Bonus, curious if it would be like a bonus. Holy shit. Sorry. I was thinking about it, but when I was like wrapping up the AC7 stuff, it was like, I just want to like tunnel vision Metal Gear. And I also don't want to like get a lot of people like thinking that this is just a flight game channel or anything. So it's not like it's never gonna get a video, but just not now. Not for a bit at least. Definitely someday though, because I do want to play it. The adopted sibling, yeah. They released a 2.0 version of the game as a beta on Steam that improves graphics and buffs bombs to be useful. Interesting. You're gonna give me gray hairs at 20? I don't know what you're talking about. This used to be a mecha channel. It was never a mecha channel. Well, actually, it kind of was for a bit. I've mentioned that I did have like some studios reach out about like doing coverage for like upcoming mech games. Like I got offered some like game previews for upcoming mech stuff, and I was like, I'm not a mech channel. I just happened to do like one series about mech games that was unexpectedly successful. That's all. I respectfully declined, at least at that time, because also a lot of them, or sorry, two of them that I remember like specifically were right after I finished the AC6 stuff and was just starting like Ace Combat and Metal Gear. So I just didn't want to like take time away from those. And also the niche thing where I'm like, I don't want people getting the idea I just cover all the mech games. Mech Warrior 5. Whoa. Mech Warrior's on like my someday list currently, along with like Hawks and Project Wingman and stuff. Where she's like, yeah, once enough time has passed, I'll throw these on for like polling with everything else. There was another mech, oh, Front Mission. I was like, there was another mech series that I had on there that I was interested in checking out. It was Front Mission. Made me think of Hawken. I actually, memory unlocked, I played Hawken. Not much. I wasn't like terribly into it, but I tried it out like, man, when the fuck did that come out? Was that like 2014? 13, 14? 20 years from now, when you still do plane and mech games, will you still say you're not a plane and mech channel? Hey. We're doing stealth game right now. And it currently looks like from there, we're either gonna go to like a story heavy beat 'em up or to survival horror. I actually haven't checked the polling in a bit, to be honest. I'm assuming Resident Evil is still creeping its way up the list. You guys are not ready for the legendary rants in those videos that I will go on. I know the games and I know the fandom going in, so it's gonna be something. Stealth game has mech in it, so mech game. I remember getting a comment like way back when I did the Metal Gear video, like the original one. Someone was like, ah, yes, we are doing, or sorry, this channel has 3 games. Armored Core, mech game. Or sorry, it was like, there's Armored Core, and then there's Armored Core but with planes, and he meant Ace Combat. And then he was like, Armored Core but political. I was like, yep, that's the channel now. Metal Gear isn't as, well, Metal Gear's fairly, never mind. I was gonna say it's not as political as I thought, but I feel like the politics take a backseat to the wackiness a lot of the time, so it doesn't feel as political as it is. When you break it down, it is still very, never mind, I was about to say some stupid shit. It's very political. Why do you fly like this? Why can I not hit you? What's going on? Ah! Well, get off me. Where? There! No, no missiles. Oh, what the fuck? Why are there so many of you? Pixie? Please don't fail me now, brother. I know he wasn't talking to me, but I'm taking his advice. Serves him right for being on an open channel like that. Oh. Pixie shot him. I was like, where did he go? Pixie did something. Holy shit. I feel like Pixie has an undeserved reputation for being a helpful wingman, because in my experience so far, I very rarely see him shoot anything down. Regardless of what mode he's set to, special weapon or not, it's a rare thing to see. Oh, he's turning away. That's not gonna hit him. Fuck. Come here. I gotta just get close. I gotta pull the air combat AI strat. That was too... the angle was weird. Oh, fuck. It's not to do with the orders. He's been on order this whole time. He's shot one down. Shooting like 2 planes down a mission is not exactly helpful. It's like very mildly, minimally helpful, but it's not anything significant. I don't feel like it's any better than the AC-5 AI. Oh god, come on. Fuck. Come here! There we go. The only companion I've had that actually killed things. I don't get this reputation, man. I feel like the AC5 wingmen also typically get a really bad rap, but they were like equally as helpful as Pixie is here. I feel like it's just the same AI. Genuinely, I don't think they're any different. At least in terms of like practical experience playing with both of them. Oh, disperse is usually the way to go? What? Praise the AI. I praise the enemy AI, not Pixies. Not the wingman AI. The enemy AI tried to combine those words in this game is definitely a cut above everything that had come before it. Enemy AI in this game is crazy. Hold on, I'm finding the there we go.
The round table is finally
The poll. The polling. I haven't checked in on this in a minute.
Was an enemy ace. He was personally responsible for shooting down dozens of our planes. Belka is no longer a threat.
Yeah, Resi still moved up, but only a little bit. Oh. Things have shaken a little bit on the poll. Not crazy amounts. Not by any crazy amount. But things have shaken a bit on the review series poll. I'm assuming. I'll be quick this time. I swear, I always ramble about this too much. Yakuza's still going strong. I'll be quick. Hold on, let me get like ambience at least. Give me a minute. Poll? Yeah, the one for the next like series of reviews. I throw them on the videos typically. Oh, there's a cutscene.
Astounding accomplishments of the mercenary known as Demon Lord. I forgot about my job and read everything I had on hand. Around the time Demon Lord received his nickname, South Belka showed signs of weariness regarding the war. Because the region was set up as a defense line to protect the birthplace of Belka in the north, the people's dissatisfaction had reached a climax. The cities declared themselves demilitarized and peacefully surrendered to the Allied forces. Unable to establish a defensive position, the Belkan army kept retreating to the north. The end of the war was fast approaching.
It's very tactical placement.
I was given an opportunity to interview the former aces of the Belkan Air Force. Back then, they were the masters of the sky, and they had also known him. So I crossed the border to follow his trail. I wanted to capture the war and the Demon Lord from their point of view. To capture the voices of those who were
Wait, is this the interview? Oh my god, it is. I was angry. My favorite line in this game.
Rot Team Commander, former member of the Belkan Air Force, 2nd Air Division, 52nd Tactical Fighter Squadron.
Demon Lord. It's the best name ever. So stupid. Like in the best way. So cheesy.
A poster boy for the armed forces.
I love it.
He is a professor of history at the University of Dinsmark.
Did I tell you guys about the one comment I got once upon a time? Hold on. I don't want to talk over him.
To lead us to victory.
I'll turn him up, in fact.
Staying where it was nice and warm wouldn't accomplish anything. My flight's mission was to maintain air superiority in Area B7R, an essential area that we couldn't allow to be violated. That day, when I heard the order from HQ for reinforcements, I became angry. The station force was in chaos because of just 2 mercenaries. There was no way the mighty Belkan Air Force could lose to mere mercenaries. My pride was shot, and the round table was defiled. What went wrong? Whatever it may be, the fact remains I was forced to walk a different path in life than the one I had envisioned.
The nod sells it. I became angry. I love that line. Speaking of beautifully stupid. It's not even the line, it's the delivery of the line with that one. To be fair, it's not a scripting issue there.
He flew
It's the acting
during the capital's liberation.
from both the body actor
Still to
and
this day.
the voice actor.
I met him above this very sky. I can still hear the sound of the missile alerts from that day. I received an order to fly to Directus on my way back from an intercept mission on the southern defense line. The order itself wasn't unusual.
The angry
We kept
airplane
being
nerd.
deployed from one mission to the next without receiving
Hey, he was an
any basic
ace,
maintenance.
all right? Put some
But
respect
the
on his name.
situation was the same all around. We were late reaching the operational space. The station squadrons had already retreated, and warning bells were going off in the city. And the people were looking up to his plane, high above the sky. It felt like he could see right through me. He was always one step ahead of me. He matched every combat maneuver I made until I used up every trick in the book.
He's the Demon Lord. Oh, and the best one. And the hold on.
Schnee Team Commander, former member of the Belkan Air Force, 22nd Air Division, 4th Tactical Fighter Squadron, Eric Hillenbrand. He never had great ambitions.
Eric's my
All
boy.
he ever hoped for was to make a living as a regular pilot. Today he works as a flight instructor for civilian pilots.
Wait, who are you?
Instant he
The
shot,
fuck?
I pulled the lever. I barely managed to escape from my plane as it burst into flames.
This isn't my boy.
From the blast, I landed below the round table.
Who the fuck is this guy?
It was a wide open, barren wasteland. How long would I have to wait for a rescue party? Radio interference within the round table was fierce. The odds of a distress signal actually reaching anyone was low.
It's a different
I was
ace.
at a loss for what to do. Anyway, I'd really gone out with a bang this time. I took that as a sign it was time for me to retire. But just then, I heard a roaring overhead. It was his plane. I was jealous of his calm flying form. Rather than wait for the rescue team, I began to walk toward the nearest base. I was driven by desire to get back up there and fight him again. Of course, it did take me 3 days to get there.
Every time I flew with him, his skill stood out.
That was
He was
abrupt.
unstoppable. He would ascertain the situation in an instant and change the tide of battle. He was born for combat. It was no wonder they called him a demon lord.
Your microphone changed.
Said it was hell trying to keep up with him. Before long, everyone
Changed
had
again.
taken notice of him. More and more would show up to watch him go off on sortie. Mercenaries or maintenance crew, it didn't matter. People wanted to burn his image to their memories. Hell, they weren't the only ones.
Killing a lot of yellow. Yeah, I was a little too close tonight. Because, you know, you got to be, like, dead in the middle for the... What's it called? Like, ultimate soldier? Something like that? The medal. You got to be, like, dead in the center.
The Belkan forces
So I was trying to even it back out.
The industrial city of Hoffnung is crucial to the enemy's industrial.
Because CRT...
and the heart
I thought it was because the voices were getting dubbed in after the fact. In both versions of the game.
Expedite the end of the war, and has requested our participation in this
They
operation.
have the body actors and the voice actors different because, like,
The Allied forces bombers
they already had voice actors for the gameplay.
attack enemy facilities.
I don't know.
Achieve near total air
It's
supremacy
I'm
with
assuming that's the reason, is that they wanted the voice actors to be consistent with who you got during gameplay. But in some cases it leads to, like, the occasional moment where you can see that the lip sync isn't right. And to be fair, you won't see it if you don't know it's there. In my opinion, I never saw it until chat told me that this was a thing. But now that I know it's a thing, like, I can see it from time to time. I thought that's why they were exaggerated. Was because they're not actually speaking the lines that you're hearing during the cutscenes. Could be a combination of both. It could be. They're just like, yeah, we need you to really, really sell this one. I kind of want to save. I'll go with the eagle, I think. I don't know. I kind of want the 14D though. There's a lot of good options. Oh, I want to save the flanker, the strike flanker. That thing is fun. I'll save it for later. For later, I mean, or sorry, by later, I mean like the ace run. When I'm saying I'm saving planes, that's what I mean. I might actually go with I think I'm going with the Super Tomcat. It's a fighter. Okay, yeah, I'm doing this. What special weapons? Not that I could afford them. Jesus Christ, 30K for bombs? What do you think? I'm made of money? Jesus. Rosgree's skin for the F-14 when you complete the game on Soldier. $30K. 27K for napalm too. Crazy prices for special weapons. Jesus. I'll buy them. I'm just not going to be happy about it. That's all. I was going to say, wait, hold on. Where is this Assault Records? Yeah, I was like, where are all the aces listed? Where is the stuff that we've been? Oh, look at that. That's today. This is like the last few missions that I've just played. That's looking pretty good, actually. It's totally not just because of these fellas. And now these fellas. Beautiful. Beautiful. What was I talking about before that? Oh, shit, the polls. Right. The review series polls. Okay. Check it. Check it, right? This is the top. This is the top. So if you are not in the loop on how the polling has been going, quick rundown, right? Yakuza has been in first since polling the Ace Combat audience. I did all the Ace Combat audience polling before I sent this out to the Metal Gear audience at all. So far, I've polled the Metal Gear audience once. I'm going to poll them another 2 times still before the end of the series. So for the record, the Metal Gear swing still is not in full effect. Still, we've only gotten like a third or so, maybe more like half would be accurate, of the Metal Gear swing. For the record, Yakuza was in front with Halo very close behind it as second place for a long time off of the Ace Combat votes. Now that Metal Gear audience has come in, Resident Evil and Legend of Zelda have gone to second and third, and they're both like making pace to catch up to Yakuza. Maybe less so Zelda, but Resident Evil definitely seems on pace to like catch up to Yakuza currently. Devil May Cry also has moved up quite a bit. Stalker was number 3, and like Doom was number 4. Like Resident Evil and Zelda, as well as DMC, all were not top 5 picks pre-Metal Gear audience voting, and now they've all like moved up super fast. They've moved up a lot. Resident Evil is now 22 votes behind. The last time I saw this, I think it was like 24. But also, I haven't like sent it out an additional time since then. This is just kind of legacy voting from the last time I sent it out on MGS4. Be an equally good retrospective or whatever we'd call it. Retrospective would be accurate for Resident Evil, because I've played the mainline games and a couple of the spin-offs. Most of the RE spin-offs I've never touched, so it's going to be like a 50-50. When will you review Juice Galaxy? You're lucky. I just brought my mouse over to your name to ban you, but I decided to spare you today. So, in my opinion, Yakuza could still maintain number 1. It's pretty likely that it does. If I were to put numbers to it, I think there's like a 40% chance that Yakuza stays number 1 all the way to the end. I would say 40% is a good number for that. Like a really big chance, but I wouldn't say it's the majority chance. I think Resident Evil, like 60% chance at this pace that we've been going, that Resident Evil will overtake it. Considering it could go on, it could go either way. And I will say that just polling the Metal Gear audience once was going to lead to the largest swing, but there's still a lot that's going to happen the next 2 times, just not as significant as the first swing. But when I sent this out, Resident Evil had like 70 votes ish, and Yakuza had like 130. So Yakuza went up by like about 40 votes. Resident Evil went up by like 80-ish, going off of memory. I think Resident Evil majority chance will take over Yakuza, but there's a chance that Yakuza like gets enough votes to stay in first place. I do think RE is going to get really close up to it though. Like by the end, it'll be pretty tight in terms of like the gap between them. My prediction, and so far my predictions are great, by the way. Chatters who have been here know that all of my predictions are pretty spot on. Before I even sent it out to the Metal Gear audience, or sorry, no, just after, when I started to see the way things were trending, I said Halo is gonna drop from number 2 to like number 5. And RE, Zelda, and DMC will be like 2, 3, 4. Maybe one of those will be first place. And DMC is not number 4 yet, but it's only 2 votes behind. Are actually as small as they are. Up top, up top, aside from Yakuza, there's a lot of them that are like right up against each other like that. As you go down, I guess actually it kind of does stay consistent. It's because of the amount of games on here. It's because this poll just keeps going and going and going. Because this is legitimately like my list of, here's everything I could do a series on, like everything that I would want to do a series on. I just threw literally every single one onto the list and tossed it up as a poll. So we've got like 5,200 votes on it right now. Good data set. Can you stop playing good songs on your stream? You keep getting hyper fixated on them. What, her background music? Might as well go alphabetical. You have obscure on it? Yeah, because it would be like 2 videos, but like no one knows what the fuck this game is. 18 votes. Like I just said, almost 5,300 votes. Obscure has 18. So, not as bad as The Suffering, which would also be like 2 or 3 if I remember right. I think it's 2. I think there's only 2 of these games, but there might be like a third one. But yeah, it's second to the bottom. It's not doing so hot. There's a lot of them that aren't doing so hot that like I wouldn't have really thought would place so low. Like Left 4 Dead being so low is wild to me. A lot of these, it's like, yeah, I get it. Diablo being this low surprises me, actually. I feel like there's a lot of people who really love like the first couple Diablo games, and regardless of how you feel about like 3 and 4, I felt like there would be more interest in Diablo, but fucking Alone in the Dark has more votes than Mortal Kombat. That's crazy. That's insane, right? You see, like, some of this is just wild in terms of how the numbers shake out. I've never just actually looked at the bottom end this much. I always just kind of like look at the top end because everything else is like, it's not gonna claw its way up if it's got like 18 votes, right? But some of this is crazy. Red Faction has more votes than Far Cry. Some of this is really wild. Dino Crisis has more votes than like Elder Scrolls and Fallout. Earth Defense Force is this high? What the fuck are you guys on? Sorry, the more that I look at this, the more it is really crazy. Medal of Honor? Is this high up? We're in like the upper end. This isn't like insanely high, but we're in like the upper end. What? Remedy games ahead of BioWare RPGs. Dead Space is pretty high based. Red Dead is this high? Wait, this is so weird. Hold on. Where's the original? Where's the original? Here. This was the poll for, this was when I polled the Armored Core audience for the current series that we're doing now. Let me find Red Dead, because going off of my memory, yeah, Red Dead was super low. It got 27 votes. Interesting. Interesting. In 2024, only because the last time I polled, Red Dead was not high. Like, at all. God of War's decently up there. God of War would be a good one. It's also not too long, which is a factor. Why is Assassin's Creed so high? What's wrong with you people? Don't make me do that. I mean, someday I do want to do it. Don't make me do it now. I can't play all the Assassin's Creed games back to back right now. I can't handle that. COD campaigns. This one would actually be so fun, man. Hold on. What place is COD? That's relatively high. 1, 2, 3. Sorry, I have to know. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14th place out of like, I think 50-ish. COD campaigns would be so funny. I've talked about this before. There are some Call of Duty campaigns that if you just look at the campaign itself, you're like, this is actually a pretty like good single player experience. And then there's some that's like, what the fuck? What is this? Who thought this was okay? This would be a fucking roller coaster of a review series. I also want to throw Call of Duty Zombies on there, like the next time that I put up a poll like this. And I would probably do that map by map. There's a lot of maps, but I think Zombies deserves that kind of attention. I mean, if you know the Chole lore, that doesn't shock anyone, but I do think it deserves it. That's actually kind of a regret of mine, is not also having Zombies on this list, but next time. It's too late to add it now. Like, even if I add it now, it's gonna sit near the bottom. It's too far behind everything else at this point. Half-Life really high. Love to see it. Castlevania really high. Oh, Metal Gear people. That's the thing Psycho Mantis said. Drakengard's still way too high. Put that bitch down where it belongs, please. Hold on, where's the start of the top 10? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, so Silent Hill is number 10. Everything outside of that. Metroid is top 10. I'm shocked that Doom is this high. Especially, you consider the audiences we're looking at here. I was also shocked that Halo was so high initially. I've talked about that before. I was shocked when I was polling the Ace Combat audience that Halo was in second place. I was like, what? There's a lot of crossover between Ace Combat and Halo? Is the studio working on the Silent Hill remake the same one that made Layers of Fear? Yes. I'm assuming you asked because of this tweet that recently went viral of like, for anyone who still thought the remake was in good hands, it's the same people who made this jump scare, and it's the child running into a wall and fucking dying. Yes, it is in fact that studio, which is why every time I've talked about the SH2 remake since announcement, I've been like, you guys, I'm so hopeful for this remake because it's Silent Hill 2. It's one of my favorite games ever. I want to like this remake, but I do not have good reason to think it's in good hands or will come out the right way. Because, yeesh. The recent trailer didn't make me feel any better either, unfortunately. What the fuck happened to I haven't ranted about this. Hold on. I'm pulling up the trailer. Hold on. I'm angry thinking about it. Not legitimately, but like what happened. Hold on. We're looking up Angela's face. SH2 fans who have seen the new trailer, you know already. I'm far from the first person to talk about Angela's face. Far from it. But what the hell? This is worth the tangent, okay? You guys ready? You guys ready? Prepare. That's not a good shot. It's an okay shot. Her face is fine. This is not the same character. Also, it's like she got stung by a ton of bees. Like a lot. I'm about to be destroyed. The bits of combat I've seen in videos looked okay. It looks okay. You're rude. Dude, this isn't Angela. Hold on. I'll pull up a picture. Silent Hill 2 Angela. It doesn't look like her. It's not even just that her face looks kind of funny. It's that it's like a completely different human being. Here. This picture actually comes from a thread of people talking about remake Angela, funny enough. This is the original Angela. Everyone but Raiden said it was fine. This is the original character. This is remake Angela. They didn't even try to make her look. It doesn't look like her face is entirely different. Right? It's not even, oh, it's like, it's kind of funny, like the bee sting joke. It's shit posting. I know some people are genuine about that. To be clear, I'm kind of shit posting because like it's funny. But they don't look the same. It's a different person. My cheeks will remember this insult. No, it's a shit post, but like genuinely. Everyone else in this trailer looks like who they are in the original game as well. So there's a bit of a consistency thing here.
It's okay. I didn't mean to.
We're like, yeah, that's James. Okay, to be fair, James has been kind of, in my opinion, stylized a bit. And he kind of looks a little more like Leon than he did before, but I'll look past it. I'll look past. It looks like James.
I'm looking for Silent Hill.
I think you should stay away.
Angela looks off, really off.
Wrong with it?
Is it dangerous?
James always had the Leon hairstyle. Yeah, I feel like they've leaned into it more. Like they had a similar hairstyle. It looks
I guess I don't really care
closer than it ever has to me. If that makes sense. What other characters have you seen? We've seen Maria. We've seen what's her name? Laura.
You shouldn't be here.
We haven't seen Ed yet. He looks more like Leon in the face. Yeah, he kind of does. The combat looks fine. It doesn't look good, like here. I would never use the word good for AAA standards. That's the thing as well. Because standards are all over the place, right? For like what is good or what's not. If this was like an indie game, I would look past the combat. I wouldn't care. That's not what this is. This is a horror developer with more than a decade of experience who is getting funded by Sony. So when I see like that, when I see the shooting right here, right? It looks off. It looks really just kind of weird. Not bad, but it looks like a little clunky and floaty almost. The game looks fine,
I'll be good. I
to be
promise.
clear,
Tell him I'll be good, please.
but it's Silent Hill 2 is the thing. Silent Hill 2 is a game that's not just fine, if that makes sense. Looks serviceable. It looks serviceable. But there's definitely, like, depending on who we're talking about, that's a word I use. Well, it's a great word for, like, shooting and combat systems especially. Because you need to have, like, a certain bit of weight to it for it to feel good, to feel satisfying. Bubblehead nurse mods first week. We don't need mods. They're in there. SH2 is the Bubblehead nurse game. Well, the original at least. Actually, to be fair, any common trope that you associate with Silent Hill, it's probably a Silent Hill 2 thing. I'm totally on my Silent Hill Doomer fan arc right now. But Layers of Fear doesn't have combat. That's also like a weird thing, is that Bloober has never done... Actually, no. Sorry, they have done combat before. The Medium had combat. It was just not good combat. I'm used to DBD terms. Peepee head is what they call pyramid head. Really? Why? So bizarre. I'm also, thankfully, I'm not as Doomer Silent Hill fan as like the average Silent Hill Twitter or Reddit user. For the record, when I say that I'm on my Doomer shit with the Silent Hill stuff these days, it's not that bad. I can't stand Silent Hill Twitter for the life of me. They're just the actual worst. I legitimately cannot think of many worse online fandoms in gaming than Silent Hill. I can think of some. It's not that I can't think of any, but not a lot. There aren't many that match the Silent Hill fandom. Very trapped in the past. It's not even that. If you're not very familiar with Silent Hill's like online fandom, we're talking about a fandom that legitimately, and I'm not bullshitting, this is like a famous Twitter interaction. It went super viral among gaming Twitter. This is a fandom that wholeheartedly, legitimately thinks that they understand the game better than the man who wrote the game. And they will correct the original writers on things about the story and themes of the game. I'm not bullshitting. This happens all the time on Silent Hill Twitter. A lot of the like OG Silent Hill devs have legitimately like deleted their Twitter accounts and never come back because of how annoying it got to them. Like, they are the people who wrote the game. They know exactly what they did and didn't intend for the game to mean. And Silent Hill fandom will be like, no, you're wrong. It's baffling. I can't actually imagine thinking that you know better than the guy who wrote the story. It's crazy. It's crazy. People on Twitter are worse. Twitter is mostly fine. Twitter gets a really bad rap. I've been an avid Twitter user for a long time. It kind of depends what circles you're looking at. Like, if you're on Twitter and you never use the For You tab, and you're not in like spaces that have just the insufferable people in them, Twitter's great. Like, my Twitter is so curated to where if you go through my following tab, it's all totally normal other than like Kojima going on his random like 30 tweet sprees where he just sits down and tweets like, or retweets like 30 times in 2 minutes. Other than that, my Twitter is great. As soon as you swipe over to the For You tab, it's a fucking war zone. Just a ton of shit that I don't care about, and everyone's angry at each other, and it's just like, oh my god, what happened? How did we get here? Twitter is wild in that sense. You kind of have to like curate it, right? I mean, it's like any social media platform, really, I guess. Games that will help you touch grass. I love Humble Bundle. When Cole gets VTuber drama because of me. Yeah, it's like I follow literally a single VTuber on Twitter because I know them personally, and Twitter's like, oh, this guy wants to know all the VTuber Twitter shit, all the drama. He wants to know every bit of it. And sometimes the drama is pretty good. I have to admit, like, I don't even know what they're talking about half the time, but I'm entertained. Sometimes I do get kind of sucked in, but like, ugh. The recent VTuber Twitter drama has been crazy. Has been so crazy. Completely out of hand, but like also, it's one of those like no one on either side is actually right sort of situations. Like on both sides, there's a little bit that's like valid, and then the rest of it is just absolute nonsense. And so I'm just watching these two sides completely go at it, and none of them are right, like entirely. It's crazy. The drama yesterday, it's the only VTuber drama I know. All the stuff with, that's actually when I really got sucked in. False will tell you. When I was really paying attention was all the Niji Sanji stuff at the beginning of this year. Dude, that shit was crazy. Although to be fair, like I'm not the only one. There were a ton of people who like don't care about the VTubing space at all, who were like actively keeping up with that situation because it was just so insane. Like I was far from the only one. Every time you found a VTuber, we were like, oh no, she's Niji. Well, yeah, because that's like where I was finding anyone, was just through the drama that was going down. That's where I was like even finding out about certain people. That's the only place I was. You got my attention, what happened? Oh my God, it's so much. TLDR, the company has a very toxic work environment. And one of their creators who was under contract made a little whoopsie, but things got incredibly out of hand in terms of like how the company reacted and how other individuals, like other talents within the company reacted. The talent tried to take her own life more than once as a result of it. And like the company didn't really give a shit. The company fired her because of it, and she went independent and like came out with all this, and it blew the fuck up. It blew the hell up. Oh yeah, there was that recent one where a different company like outed one of their talents for like, oh my God, they were like doing heroin on stream, and like, yeah, she was like sleeping with her manager as well as like hooking up with fans of hers secretly, like fans from her Discord server. She was fine, like if any of them lived close enough, she was like hooking up with them too. And the company released a document exposing all this info. Like the corporate side of the company put out this document. And it was like, what the fuck?
sadness.
Wouldn't you want to keep that under wraps, like more quietly terminate the talent? I would think. Putting that in a doc was funny. I couldn't believe it. That was the other recent VTuber drama that I was like, this is insane. This is just batshit crazy.
The Belkan forces have taken flight, abandoning Hoffman.
Sounds like business. I can't believe that they outed her, because like it makes you look bad. I guess maybe it doesn't. I don't feel like most companies would out that stuff, right? It's just too much crazy for me. It's a lot of crazy. It's kind of awesome how crazy it is. As an outsider looking in, it's like, oh my god, these bitches are all crazy. They did it because they pride themselves on transparency. I mean, to be fair, it's not the company's fault that she was doing all that stuff. They did fire her because of that stuff, and they were just like, hey, for those of you who want to know why she's fired, this is why. And just exposed all of it. And it was like, whoa. Wow.
There are still pockets of resistance holed up.
As an outsider, it kind of made them look better, but I feel like normal corporate logic would say like, oh yeah, we don't want anyone to know about this. We fire her, we don't say anything. I feel like that's how most companies would have handled it. But they just put together a document and boom, put it out there. Crazy. Crazy.
Which means the remaining troops, although few in number, are well outfitted. Head to the designated operations rendezvous location, point 203.
And mine is like, why are we talking about this? And I'm the VTuber? Because your chat... They're not fun like my chat. They're fun. They're fun. Don't. Different kind of fun. They're not fun like my chat is. That's why. They're all tired of it. Meanwhile, most of us are just like, tell me more. It could be that like actually being in the VTuber sphere, it's like, oh my god, I don't want to hear about more of this. I hear plenty of this. But for those of us who aren't in the sphere, it's like, what? What's happening in the VTuber space? What? Hold on. I remember the way that False found out that I was super into like keeping up with the Niji Sanji stuff was that I was watching said individual stream like after she came back independently, and she was like, why are you watching her stream? And I'm like, to make her numbers go higher because fuck Niji Sanji. And she was like, why do you care about this? Like, I really have no reason to, but I do. I don't know why I care, but I do. Yeah, that's how like everyone found out that I was keeping up with it. Was I was like, oh, I was just lurking in my other new favorite VTubers chat. You know me. I just came here for the plane game. Came for plane game, got crazy VTuber drama. That are more about principle. Exactly. It was one. Dude, her numbers on that were insane, by the way. Like, I don't know. I'll go and just look at the views from the VOD, but I remember sitting in that chat and she had like over 100K concurrent viewers. That first like comeback stream was insane in terms of just like the numbers and everything. Yeah, the VOD has 1.5 million views. And it's just like a 2-hour stream where she sits there and talks. It's a just chatting stream that only lasted for 2 hours, but it has 1.5 million views. It's crazy. Oh, I didn't pay attention. I did pay attention, kind of. I was listening and talking at the same time, but now I've lost it because I did that. Is this air to air? Oh, this is the... Okay. Do I want bombs or air specials? I don't remember this mission. It's the recon mission. Bombs are probably... It's air to air. Never mind. Never mind. I was gonna say bombs are probably the safe play, but never mind. Has that indomitable human spirit. You have to view it like, what if it got out afterwards they'd covered that she was having sex with fans. Yeah, it is one of those where it's like, we can try to hide it. Oh, you're right. This isn't what I was thinking of. This is... Never mind. I just glanced at the map and I was like, oh, it's the one where the recon goes bad. Is that even this game? Now that it might not be. I just saw blank map, no targets, and I was like, oh, I know what this is. Yeah, her comeback stream was insane. I remember there just being so many people there. And I was like, oh my God. Could you imagine being at the company that fired her though and seeing that her like comeback stream has over 100K people sitting in it? Oh, it's 5. Okay. That at least makes it reasonable. Mixing up 5 and 0's missions is totally reasonable. I do it a lot. Maybe it's just reasonable to me because expansion stuff, but... VTuber drama is crazy. If you take nothing else away from the stream, it's absolutely insane. Like right now, the big drama that's going around is like there's this smaller creator who just got like her new model and whatever. And some people were like, hey, your model kind of looks exactly like this other like big VTuber. Like really uncannily like it. Like almost as if it was just like copied over pretty much. And it kind of blew out of proportion with people getting like really overly aggressive. But like, the model is the exact same thing. Like it's actually like it's 1-to-1, dude. I'm not even bullshitting you. Not exactly 1-to-1, but like the outline and all like the distinguishing features are the exact same. And there's like finer details, like little decorative details on like the clothing and stuff that are unique to the smaller creator's new model, but it's like the entire silhouette is the exact same. Like you put them next to each other and you're like, yeah, that's the same picture. You know the meme from The Office? It's that meme. It's the same picture. Different colors, actually. The colors are a little different. I don't think any of those missiles are gonna hit. Call me crazy. I think they're flying too fast. Sounds completely unhinged. It is just actually insane. You also have to realize that everyone on VTuber Twitter hates each other. So the, what's it called? The drama gets real wild. They're all looking for a reason to take each other out anyway. I'm kind of joking, but also not entirely. There's a lot of hostility in that community that is unusually high compared to like other like content creator communities. There's a lot of hostility at least on VTuber Twitter. Like if you get really deep into VTuber Twitter, it's crazy. Where do you think the Ace Combat franchise is gonna go? Rumors we're getting a remake. We have Ace Combat 8 is confirmed in development right now. Like we even know some of the people who are working on the game. If we're talking like after AC8, I have no idea. But like as far as the very next thing, it's been known like Bamco has, I think, like confirmed it in the sense of they like responded to someone asking about it or something. I don't remember how exactly. It's confirmed, but not like with a teaser or trailer or anything yet. But we know Ace Combat 8 is like the next project. Nick, thank you for the sub, appreciate it. We know that the lead writer of Ace Combat 3, who had previously left to go and work on like the Drakengard and the Nier games. He was like one of the founders of that team. He's back at, I can't remember the new name for Project Aces. Like it's Project Aces, but they've been renamed essentially. I can't remember the name of it. He's back on the team. We know that much. We don't know what he's doing, but we know that he's on the team. There's a lot of like hearsay of like, oh, you know, he's directing the game or he's like the lead writer again. We don't know. All we know is that he's working on it currently. Bandai Namco Aces, that's right. I was like, I know that they're not called Project Aces anymore, but that's all that I could remember. Bandai Namco Aces is the new, which if you ask me, it's not a great rebrand, but it's fine. It's not that important at the end of the day. Come on. We know it's Ace Combat 8 and we know like some very little things, but really not much. Rumors are going around that it might get revealed like this summer. I don't know. There's not really much, as far as I'm aware, to like back up the fact that that's the case. As far as I know, it's just kind of like people hoping that it gets revealed this summer and hoping that it's coming out next year. I'm not sure if there's actually much like behind that assumption. There could be, and I'm just not as in the loop. I'm way more focused right now on that Xbox showcase on Sunday. I've heard a lot of things coming out of the Xbox showcase on Sunday, allegedly, maybe. Like nothing confirmed, but a lot of fairly consistent insiders and leakers saying a lot of big things about the Xbox showcase. So that's where my attention is right now in terms of like upcoming games and stuff. It's kind of all on that. Also, it will be at the Xbox showcase, but like there's been a lot of stuff leaked about the new Call of Duty even. And like it's all of those are like confirmed leaks because what's it called? The new Black Ops game that's coming out later this year, the store listing on Xbox accidentally went live for like all of 5 minutes about a week ago. So we have a bunch of like the promotional material already leaked for the new game and like images of the game and everything. So it's kind of like, oh, I already know all this stuff is 100% legit. Now I'm just waiting to see the trailer because like my interest is there. A lot of stuff on the zombies side with the new Black Ops game has me side-eyeing the shit out of Black Ops 6 right now. Like this might actually be pretty damn good. I hope. Some of the bigger rumors. I would say the biggest rumor, it's kind of a 2-in-1. Biggest rumor with, I would also say, the most credibility behind it out of all the stuff I've been hearing recently is that Gears of War 6 is going to get revealed on Sunday, and alongside the reveal of Gears of War 6, which is currently allegedly slotted for release late next year in 2025, they're also going to announce like a Master Chief style collection of Gears 1, 2, and 3 for the new Xbox and PC coming out later this year to build up the hype for Gears 6. Kind of like what they did with Master Chief Collection and Halo 5 back in the day, where they like announced Halo 5 and then also announced a collection of older Halo games that was coming out like roughly a year beforehand to hype everyone up. Pretty much exactly that.
June 6th.
The words COD and hope don't go together nowadays. Man, I've been playing Call of Duty my whole life. They go together every year, once a year.
I was still in school at the time, but I'll never forget the images I saw on the news that day. The Belkans set off 7 nuclear explosions on their own soil.
but the zombie stuff has been good. Like the leaks from the promotional material. I obviously can't pull them up on stream, like the actual images, but Gobblegum is returning, which I was not the biggest fan of Gobblegum back when Black Ops 3 first came out, but like weirdly retroactively I have a lot of nostalgia for it now, like almost a decade later, which makes me feel very old to say, but almost a decade later, like seeing the images of Gobblegum on the promotional material for the new Black Ops was exciting to me, which is so weird, but like it was. Brutus from Mob of the Dead and Blood of the Dead is getting an operator skin that I think was bundled in as part of like the deluxe edition pre-order, but that kind of hints at like a lot of actual like legacy zombies content maybe returning in this game. A basic like standard edition pre-order bonus is actually a zombie Woods skin, like Frank Woods, just a zombified Frank Woods is a pre-order bonus skin for any edition of the game. There's a lot of zombies material in the marketing, like an equal amount of zombies and multiplayer material in the marketing, which is also just a big deal. I feel like the last time that zombies had that level of marketing was like Black Ops 3. No, Black Ops 4. I would say Black Ops 4 had the same kind of thing. But it's been a long time. It's been like 6 years since then. Like zombies just kind of got thrown to the side for more than half a decade. So seeing it kind of be back in the forefront of the marketing, and also knowing that A, Treyarch has been working on this game for 4 years, and B, Treyarch, we also recently learned that Treyarch did not make the campaign for the new game, and they have not been making any of the new Warzone content that's coming soon. The campaign was done by Raven. The Warzone stuff is being done by Raven and Beanox, I believe. Treyarch has been spending the last 4 years on like exclusively multiplayer and zombies, like only those two things, which is a really big deal. Actually, that like they had one of their primary studios spend 4 years straight only working on 2 modes. Sounds like maybe a bad thing, but if you know anything about the mismanagement of Call of Duty over the last few years, like what's actually been going on internally, the issue internally in recent years has been that they have been stretching all of their primary studios so thin, especially Treyarch has been getting the worst of it, like up through Cold War. Because like they had Treyarch working on like, Cold War specifically was a Sledgehammer game that suddenly like Activision execs came in to check in on the progress, and it was like, whoa, this game is nowhere near as ready as it needs to be at this point in its development. So what they did was they canceled Treyarch's game at the time and brought them in to fix up Cold War. And they got 1 year to do it. And then immediately after that, Cold War launches, and it doesn't come out in the greatest state. So Treyarch is doing like as much fixing as they can, and they were doing a lot. That game got turned around pretty quickly. They were working their ass off. Alongside that, we would later learn that at the same time they were doing all that, Sledgehammer's new game that was slotted to come the year after, Vanguard, as we now know it, didn't have the time or the resources from Sledgehammer to get a third game mode. So you know what they did? They told Treyarch, hey, you guys are in charge of making the third mode for this game as well. As they're fixing up the last project, they also now need to come in and make an entire core tenet of the game for the next project, also being given less than a year to do it. Treyarch has had it really rough. If you don't know like any of the background stuff with COD, this is the sort of shit that's been going on. And why the games have been coming out in the states that they have. It's legitimately just because the management has been so poor and the time has just not been there to actually like get good, solid content made in a reasonable amount of time. It's been the big issue the last few years, is everything is just getting stretched too thin. So now, knowing that like internally what's been happening for the last few years is Treyarch has been working exclusively on just the 2 core parts of the game, that tells me that those 2 core parts are probably going to be some of the best Call of Duty content in a long time. And that's not even like crazy copium. That's just legitimately no Call of Duty content in like the last half a decade has gotten that level of support and effort over such a long amount of time. You know what I mean? It could come out bad either way, but essentially what I'm saying is it gives it the best chance of being good out of anything we've seen from the franchise in years. Just from like a developmental, like a management standpoint. Oh, shit. I didn't realize this is what we were doing. Makes me concerned for the other parts. The other parts aren't like, oh, this is getting crammed in either. It's like, yeah, Raven has been making the campaign for a while. Raven has always been the primary Warzone studio since Warzone first launched. Like the original Warzone was Raven. So that's nothing new that they're handling the Warzone content. And to be honest, like if campaign is bad, it's kind of whatever. Like COD campaigns, it's great when they're good. Like when you get the random Infinite Warfare where it's like, oh my god, this was awesome. It's great. It's great. It's nice when a COD campaign is like that. But when a COD campaign is bad, it's not like a deal breaker for me, at least. I know for some people it is, but for me it's like I was gonna play it once every like 5 years anyway. What I'm actually worried about, remember Raven. Yeah, the Civvy bit with Raven is funny. But it is like, yeah, when I buy a Call of Duty game, I'm not paying 60, 70 bucks because I was excited for the campaign. Especially in a Treyarch game, I'm primarily buying it for zombies. Treyarch's multiplayer, in my opinion, is always some of the best too, but I'm not really a multiplayer guy. I like multiplayer. I bought MW3. I played a lot of MW3, way more than most people. Like most casual fans, not like hardcore fans. But certainly more than like the average casual fan. I liked MW3 a good bit. Is it because it's kind of just a remake of the original MW2 in a lot of ways? Probably. But I played a lot. I certainly got my money's worth out of MW3. But like, I'm not a big multiplayer guy. I'll play it every year, but it's not the main thing I'm there for. Even MW3 Zombies, also, I was surprised by how much I got out of that. It was way better than I had ever hoped it would be. After I started hearing like, oh yeah, it's DMZ, but with zombies instead of like other human enemies, I was like, oh, we're so cooked. This is gonna suck ass. But like, it ended up being a really cool little mode. It ended up being pretty neat. Actually kind of like a novel thing that I think if it were included as like its own little side mode along with like a proper like traditional zombies offering, I think a lot of people would really enjoy it. Even like the zombies community that did try MW3 actually liked it, which is saying a lot if you know the COD Zombies community as of the last few years. They don't like anything. They are in the category of like gaming fandoms who are impossible to please. Even they were like, yeah, this isn't my favorite thing ever, but like this is pretty cool. I like it. I'm not gonna play hundreds of hours of it, but like it's fun. It says a lot. Dante, thank you for the sub. Appreciate it. Yeah, I like a COD campaign when it's good. But if it's bad, I'm never gonna be like, oh, this game was garbage because I didn't like the campaign. There are some really fun COD games that I thought the campaign was awful. Cough cough Black Ops 3. What a shit campaign, but holy Black Ops 3 zombies. Love it. Brain rot dose. What is that? What does this Ramaji translate to? I return with my I can read Japanese, but I can't fucking understand it. It's gonna turn around real quick. I legit, like, last week I started learning how to read kanji, and I'm kind of intending to tie my kanji and vocab studies together. Is essentially what I'm going for. It's gonna pay off soon. Trust. Spent a long time learning how to read and write, so that now when I transition into like an actual more proper study of like how to speak and interpret, it's gonna go so much faster, because goddamn, I just had to get that writing system out of the way. Holy shit, that was a lot. Like a whole lot. You know how many characters there are? In, like, even excluding kanji. Kanji is its own nightmare. But like, hiragana is the most basic, like, quote unquote alphabet is kind of the best way to put it, to compare it to English. You know how many? There's like 100 some. I think it's like 106 different hiragana characters. That's the basic one. There's 3 writing systems. That's the basic one. You gotta just learn 106 symbols, like commit them to memory so that you look at them and you're like, oh yeah, that is that. And then you've got katakana after that, and then kanji. I've said it before because it's still funny. The beginner's kanji textbook that I got, do you know what it says on the cover, chat? It's like covers beginner level kanji, and it is like roughly 2,600 kanji characters in this book. Learning 2,600 kanji is considered learning beginner level kanji. So the reputation that kanji has for being an absolute nightmare for people trying to learn Japanese is earned. I now know it's not exaggerative. It is that bad. You know what's funny? I've been studying it for a few days. I still, like, I've learned like 4 symbols. You know why? Because I've been learning how to pick apart, like, all the actual, I don't even know how to describe it, pieces that make a kanji character. Where it's like, oh yeah, you can like see that this one has like this little hook guy like in the middle that the rest of the symbol kind of like builds off of, and like when you see that, that typically means that blah, I've been doing like all of that, where you're finding like the core pieces and learning like how those groupings typically work. The majority of people in Japan don't even know kanji. That's not true. It's probably true that like a lot of people in Japan, majority of people don't know all of the kanji. That's probably true. But it's no different from like, you know, I'm in my 20s and I still hear English words that I've never heard once in my life and I have to Google them. Right? It's no different from that. I've talked about before, like there's 5 officially recognized like reading levels for Japanese, and it goes like N5 through N1. N5 being like beginner level, like you read at like a toddler level, and N1 being like you're a physics professor in terms of like reading and writing. And like sorry, I got ahead of myself. And the average native speaker who has like lived their entire life in Japan is at an N2 level. Like they're not at the highest level of reading comprehension. But It's not all that different from English either. Where you've got stuff like, I remember reading this whole breakdown years ago on former President Donald Trump's like campaign speeches and his addresses, and how they were all like intentionally written to be at a 5th grade reading level to ensure that like the vast majority of Americans would actually be able to understand him and not feel stupid listening to him when he was giving speeches. It's like, yeah, no one reads or writes English at the highest level of comprehension either. Well, not no one, but very few people who live their entire life speaking the language. But when you see Japanese written, like if I go and open Twitter right now and I just scroll for like the first thing that's written in Japanese, the thing that makes it kind of hard with learning how to read and write, and I say kind of hard as in really hard for a learner who's not native, is what's it called? You see all 3 writing systems used alongside each other in like single sentences, where like if you just read a sentence that's written in Japanese, there's going to be hiragana, katakana, and kanji all in the same sentence. So to actually be able to like read like native Japanese, you have to know all 3 and be able to read all 3. Like that's what makes it so time consuming to actually learn. It's just, you have to do all of it. Like there's no halfsies. There's no like stuff that, I mean, there is stuff that's only written in hiragana or katakana, but if you're out there like reading road signs, or if you're like reading on Twitter or anything, that's not going to be the case. It's going to be a combination of all 3 systems. And I'm not even far enough to understand. I mean, kanji, I don't know this for a fact, but I'm assuming it's just to condense things down is why it's used. It's because it's convenient. Like, you know, if you can condense an entire term into one character in a language that each individual character is typically like a syllable, it just makes your sentences shorter. It also makes them easier to read. Like, you know, you see the thing, you immediately know it's an entire word rather than needing to like piece it all together. I think it's just a convenience thing with kanji. I mean, I do understand that kanji also wasn't a part of the language until like a few hundred years ago, because kanji is taken from the Chinese writing system and just adapted over to the Japanese system. Not even Biden understands himself. There's a reason that like when I get a really bad misspeak or like I start to jumble my words and it's just like complete nonsense, I'll jokingly like say Joe Biden and no one is offended. Like normally you make fun of a political figure in any way and someone's going to be offended. I've never once had someone be offended at it because everyone's kind of like, oh yeah, sometimes he just does that. Once upon a time, it had no written language. That's why, what's it called? The writing system is so unique to everything else. Is Japan went a really long time. Don't ask me why all of these textbooks spend so much time teaching you the history of the written language before they just actually teach you how to read it. But like I've read all about this over the last few months, so allow me to share what little I know about this. Japan went a way longer time than most modern nations, where like they had a spoken language, but no written language. Like there was no writing or reading in Japan for far longer than most places on Earth. And so their system has become so like unique compared to everything else because of that. Because they had like this really dense and rule heavy language for speaking that they then like after it had developed for so long, they then went to convert it into written form. Whereas like every language starts off in spoken form, like originates from spoken form, and then the writing stuff came after. But normally it doesn't get as far along as like Japanese did before getting a reading and writing system to go along with it, right? If that makes sense. Like they all start as a language that's spoken and not written if you go far enough back, but Japanese went for a really long time without being written, comparatively. And then you get kanji thrown into the mix where like when China started coming over to Japan, Japan was so like enamored by Chinese culture in so many ways, but then one of those ways was that they really loved their writing system so much that they just kind of took it and made some changes to like adapt it over, and boom, kanji exists now. And I'm sure that once I can understand it, it will be so nice to be able to understand it in terms of like reading and writing. But holy shit, I look at it now and I know nothing. Other than like, you know, I can identify the little pieces individually, because that's where the textbook is like, yeah, you should be able to understand these because down the line, it will help you with learning new kanji. And I'm like, okay, whatever you say, I'm just here to go through the motions. Try to do it the right way as best I can. The one Star Wars show I was curious about. Which one is that? I'm trying to think. Is it The Acolyte? Has that come out yet? I've kind of disconnected. The Acolyte, yeah. Katakana is a mod. Is Katakana as well? It could be true. I didn't really get any history to katakana when I was doing like textbook stuff for it, when I was actually learning it. Kanji, I got a lot of history where it was all about like, yeah, this is like adapted from like the Chinese system. Andor got pushed a whole year. You watched Andor though, right? Andor was good. As someone who's not big on like most of the new... Oh, Katana! My bad. I'm sitting here talking about the reading and writing systems. You know, you were really just missing a couple letters. I wasn't that far off. As someone who's not typically the biggest fan of Star Wars shows, Andor was so good. I loved Andor. And I disliked... Oh, I also liked Rogue One. I don't love Rogue One, but I like Rogue One. Andor is really good, though. Mandalorian was good, like, when it was fresh. Mandalorian, and I don't really feel like much changed with The Mandalorian either. Aside from, like, maybe they're just running out of ideas. I don't know. But, like, the first season just kind of... I feel like it was so good just because it was so fresh at the time. And then season 2 was kind of more of the same, but I just didn't love season 2 the same way. Clinical for the record. Rogue One was good for that one moment. We know it. That one moment is really good. It helps a lot. It carries it a lot, to be honest. I always love, there's the meme of like, always ask a Rogue One fan what the main character's name was because no one remembers Jin's name. It's kind of funny too, because it's true a lot of the time. Started losing focus. Yeah, I feel like they just kind of meant for it to be like one season. But it just, like, they had to keep it going because, you know, money, when it was so successful. I just don't care about her or anyone else except for KS. Or sorry, K2. God damn it. I read too fast. KS. K2SO. I like Rogue One. I don't love Jin. either, but I like Rogue One. Thank God that mission's over. Jesus Christ. That is the worst mission in Zero. It's just so long. It's the classic, goddamn, why does this go on for so long? A lot of Ace Combat games have the one. Actually, I feel like particularly the PS2 games have the one. I don't feel like the PS1 games really had it.
As to the intended purpose for using the giant hangar described in the report.
You watched that video from me? I did. I didn't know that that tool existed. It's a crazy tool. Like an insane tool. And I agree. He said something near the end where he's like, you know, the recompilation tool will never be able to produce something that like directly competes with Ship of Harkinian, because that's made like by super fans to be the absolute perfect experience that's like tweakable to be exactly how you want it. Whereas the recomp is just kind of like, yeah, this is the game. It runs on PC exactly how it ran on the original. But man, that tool is crazy, especially the ray tracing thing, where the ray tracing plugin that the one guy made is just compatible with everything the recompilation tool produces. And dude, you guys were joking yesterday about like if I could have enabled ray tracing, I would have. And I was like, I don't know if I would have. I would have to see it. Having now seen like some B-roll footage of Link running around Clocktown with ray tracing, it looked beautiful. It looked so good. If it's in the Majora's Mask, if it's in 2-ship by the time that I get to it, maybe. Maybe. This is one where I'm gonna have to go and check like which route I have to do. Because I was not aware that I would have to do all 3 when I did the first run. So I just kind of chose whatever, and now here we are where I have to back out to the menu every time to check these. Ray tracing cannot save Superman 64. I don't know why he recomped it in the first place. Okay, I did the A route on the first run, so we got to do... I mean, we could do either. Actually, if I did the C route on it, then we could just know that I have to do the B route for both of the next, or the Ace run. That could work. I could do that. What happened here? Oh, I never mind. The ray tracing remix tool, or did I miss something? No, okay, so I was playing Ocarina of Time on stream yesterday. I started it yesterday. Be a method of fixing it eventually with mods, probably. Out of the box, the tool doesn't have a ton of modding support. Yeah, I will have to replay everything through free mission to get like all of the assault records and stuff, which is why I haven't been paying super close attention to the aces, because I know I have to replay a bunch anyway. Sorry, the recompilation tool, because I was playing Ship of Harkinian, which if you don't know it, is like a bunch of developers, like fan developers, got together and they decompiled. There's a difference between decompiling and recompiling an N64 game. They decompiled Ocarina of Time, and they just recently got the Majora's Mask version finished up, to where they literally sat down and like they looked at the game and they saw how stuff behaved and they reverse engineered the code from scratch completely on their own to make everything behave exactly as it did in the original. And once it was perfectly 1-to-1, they packaged up the code and you can run it like with a legal copy of the game, like an official copy of the game. You run the code through it so that it pulls all the assets and stuff out of your copy. And you can run Ocarina of Time natively on PC along with whatever enhancements they add in. Which in my case, like I was using like 60 FPS because, you know, the game runs in 20 normally. free camera look on the thumbstick, because normally it has the Z targeting only, stuff like that. But Tidbit had heard about this thing called recompilation, not decompilation, recompilation, that I had not heard of before, which is legitimately, like, this guy has developed a tool where all you have to do is take a copy of the game, or like a dumped copy from a cartridge, and run it through this tool, and within the span of like 5 minutes, it will do the decompilation automatically, where it will completely write over all the code to run on PC natively. And along with that, someone made like an N64 ray tracing hook for like N64 emulation that runs perfectly in any recompiled game. So literally, this guy has a tool that, like, you can run an N64 copy through it, and it will give you a completely native PC port in a span of minutes. And then you can just load in this ray tracing hook to also have it be fully ray traced. And it's insane. It's insane. It doesn't come out perfectly every time. Like, there's a little bit of manual editing that has to be done every time the tool does its job, because sometimes it gets things a little off. But, like, the tool does 95% of the work, rather than what people have been doing for a few years, where they do every bit of the work manually. It's mostly automated now with this tool. And, like, the full from scratch decompilation is still kind of better, if that is an option that exists, because it's got more, like, it's more modular. Like, more can be done with it after the fact in terms of, like, modding and enhancements and stuff than the recompilation. But the recompilation thing exists, where this guy, any game he wants to do, he can just run it through and then spend like a week or two touching it up, and like, boom. And it's crazy. I'm sure it took so much work to get it to work, so it'll probably be a while before we see stuff like that for other old systems. But, like, I would love a PS1 tool like that, or a GameCube tool, or whatever. And it's the same sort of, like, legal ground, as far as I'm concerned. I don't know this for certain, because it's kind of a new thing. This hasn't been around long enough or popular enough to really see. But, like, with the decompilation stuff, like what the guys have been doing where they do it manually, because the code is totally from scratch and requires an actual copy of the game to run, Nintendo has no legal ground to, like, cease and desist them or take it down. Because, of course, and I've said this before, if they did, they would have by now. It's Nintendo. Thankfully, they don't. Like, these guys can spend 2 years rewriting Majora's Mask from scratch and making it totally modular and full of enhancements and stuff, and just give you, like, the best version of Majora's Mask that we've ever had. And Nintendo can't do anything, legally speaking, currently. You're yapping in overtime? I know, because it's a good topic. Anyway, I am in overtime, and I do have big video things that I should be working on. Anyway, I was done. That was like the very last bit of it. You are right. I was done. I'm not ending just because you brought it up. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed. If you did enjoy and you haven't done so already, feel free to go ahead and leave a sub. Come back another time. We're doing this. We're doing... What are we doing? Armored Core? Elden Ring? We're doing Elden Ring tomorrow, continuing my preparation for DLC. I'm going to be doing more Elden Ring in the next few weeks to prepare, because I don't know if I'm going to be ready in time. But I'll try to get there in like we have like 3 weeks, dude. Elden Ring DLC is real and it's close, is the crazy thing. It's going to sneak up. 3 weeks is not long at all. Anyway, we're doing a bunch of stuff. Come back for any of it. Also, if you enjoyed and you haven't done so already, feel free to go ahead and leave a like. Helps with algorithm, blah, blah, blah. You've heard it before. If you're looking for links to anything outside of YouTube to engage with the community, check out links in the description, things like Twitter, Discord server, whatever. It's all down there. If you're not caught up with the Metal Gear stuff and you're interested, the Peace Walker video went up a little less than a week ago. That's pinned at the top of chat. I have the whole playlist pinned, so like if there's any crazy non-canon spin-off that you've missed or something, you might want to check that out too. The next Metal Gear video, I have a feeling might be relatively popular, just knowing what comes after Peace Walker in release order, but we'll see. You might want to be ready. I don't know. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed. I hope you all have a great rest of your day. Thank you for coming to the stream, and goodbye.